Hey, little dreamers, and welcome to my cozy corner of YouTube. Every night, I'm here to guide you gently into dreamland with soft stories, magical worlds, and voices that whisper like bedtime hugs. So get comfy, snuggle up tight, and let these gentle fairy tales carry you far, far away, where forests hum lullabies and stars wait just for you. Sleep is just a story away. Story 16, The Moon Rabbit and the Jade Garden, inspired by East Asian moon rabbit folklore. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. You lie in bed as the night begins to whisper. Outside your window, the stars twinkle like sugar crystals scattered on velvet, and the moon rises round and gentle, glowing like a lantern held just for you. But tonight, the moon is not alone. There's a shape on its surface, a small round figure sitting quietly as if waiting. A rabbit. Not hopping, not hiding, just watching, still and curious. You blink, and suddenly, the moonlight bends. It pours into your room like a soft silver ribbon and wraps around you, lifting you up. You're not scared. You're floating weightless and warm, wrapped in moonlight. Up you go, past the tallest trees, the clouds that taste like whipped cream, and the sky that hums like a lullaby. The moon grows bigger, brighter, closer, and then your feet touch ground. You're standing in a garden on the moon. It doesn't look like the rocky moon you've seen in pictures. This one is full of glowing jade trees with leaves like wind chimes. A river flows slowly through the air, not below your feet, but beside you, curving like a ribbon made of stardust. Petals drift without falling, as if time moves slower here. In the center of the garden is a small cozy house. Smoke rises gently from a curved chimney, and sitting outside on a cushion of clouds is the moon rabbit. She is white and soft, with long ears tipped in gold and eyes that sparkle like dewdrops in sunlight. She looks up and smiles. "You're right on time," she says. You sit beside her. She hands you a cup of something warm and glowing. It tastes like sweet rice and vanilla and the comfort of home. "I'm the dream keeper," she says. "I gather wishes and shape them into dreams. I mix kindness with courage and stillness with wonder. Then I send them back down to earth with the night wind." You look around. There are jars lining her porch. Each one is filled with light. One shimmers like ocean waves. Another flickers with golden laughter. One hums a quiet song. "These are dreams," she explains. "Tonight, I need your help to plant them." She takes your hand and leads you through the jade garden. You pass a tree that sings when you touch its bark, a flower that opens only when you whisper your name, a swing that moves without wind. Then she gives you a seed. It glows faintly in your palm, warm and soft. "This one holds a dream of flying whales," she says. "Find a good place." You find a patch of soft cloud moss, dig a little hole with your fingers, and place the seed gently inside. You pat the earth and whisper, "Grow well." The moment your hand lifts, a tiny sprout bursts from the ground. It unfolds into a floating tree with tiny whales leaping between its branches. The moon rabbit claps softly. "Perfect," she says. You keep going, planting dreams of glowing forests, dreams of invisible songs, dreams of kindness that echo forever. You laugh together. She tells stories of the very first dream ever planted and how it grew into the sunrise. When the last dream is planted, you return to her porch. She holds up a silver bell. "This will send them on their way," she says. She rings it once. The sound is so soft, it feels like a breath. But the dreams respond. From the soil, from the trees, from the river of air, glowing threads lift gently into the sky. They twist and dance and disappear into the night. They're going to children like you, she says, to bring them peace, joy, and wonder. You feel your eyes getting heavy. The moon rabbit tucks a blanket of moonlight around your shoulders. Before you go, she whispers, leave a dream of your own. She gives you a jar. Inside it, your reflection glows gently. You close your eyes and think of the softest hug, of a laugh shared with someone you loved, of a moment when you felt brave. When you open your eyes, the jar is full. Beautiful, she says. This will help someone tomorrow. She kisses your forehead, and moonlight gathers around you once more. Down you float slowly and gently back past the clouds, past the blinking stars, past the sleeping birds. You land softly in your bed, and as you pull the covers up, you hear the softest sound. A bell, a dream, and a rabbit smiling from the moon. Story 17. The Girl Who Rode a Wind Horse, inspired by Central Asian and Mongolian steppe folk tales. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. The grass stretches farther than the sky, golden and soft, waving gently in the wind. You sit at the edge of the wide whispering steppe, bundled in a fur-lined coat, watching clouds drift like ships overhead. The air smells like warm sun and dry grass, and somewhere in the distance a flute plays a tune too old to have a name. Tonight, something waits for you. You feel it before you see it, a breeze tugging at your collar, warm and playful, curling around your wrist, like it wants to lead you somewhere. Then you hear hooves, not the heavy thud of a regular horse. These hooves sing when they touch the earth like wind chimes or falling snow. You look up. She is already there, riding across the plains on a horse made of wind. Its mane is spun from clouds, its body shimmers like heat rising from stone, and its eyes are wide as the sky. The rider is a girl about your age with long black braids and a coat stitched with stars. She reins the horse in and stops beside you. You heard the call, she says, and her voice is the sound of rivers over stone. You listened. She reaches down. Come with me. You take her hand, and the wind lifts you. The horse doesn't gallop. It glides. It soars. You rise into the air weightless, and sure the steppe falling away below you like a sleepy painting. The girl smiles. My name is Sarnai, she says. The wind horse chose me. You nod your mouth too full of awe to speak. Below you, rivers glisten. Mountains breathe clouds into the sky. Herds of wild horses run in slow motion across the plains. Every 100 moons, Sarnai says, the wind horse finds someone who listens without words, someone who hears not with their ears, but with their heart. Why, me, you whisper. She smiles wider, because you still wonder. The wind horse climbs higher. Now you're above the stars. They hang around you like lanterns. Some pulse slowly as if breathing. Others chime when touched by wind. Each star, Sarnai says, pointing, is a story, a promise, a dream. One star shows a child planting a tree. Another shows 2 foxes curled together under snow. Another glows gently with a memory of a hug. Then the horse dips down. You land in a meadow that floats between sky and silence. There is no wind here, just hush. Flowers bloom without stems, floating lazily in the air. Sarnai dismounts and kneels. This is the place where the wind rests, where it gathers its memories and softens its song. You kneel too. She opens a pouch and hands you a thread. It shimmers in your hand, light as a breath, strong as truth. You must leave something behind, she says. A kindness you remember, a courage you've held. You close your eyes. You think of a time you were scared but still spoke up. You think of a time you helped without being asked. You whisper that memory to the thread. It glows, then lifts. It joins 1,000 others in the sky, threads of light weaving a tapestry of wind and dream. The wind horse bows. It is time to return. This time the ride is quiet. You pass through clouds that hum lullabies. You pass birds sleeping mid-flight. You pass the moon who winks. When you land back on the grass, the stars are just beginning to fade. Sarnai hugs you gently. When the wind calls again, she says, you'll know. She rides off trailing silver behind her. You walk home slowly, the wind brushing your cheek like a secret. That night, as you drift into sleep, the wind outside your window whispers your name, not loud, not urgent, just enough, just so you remember. Story 18, The Weaver of Midnight Rain, inspired by global legends of star weavers and the East Asian tale of Oraheim and Hekoboshi. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. The rain taps gently on your window, not in a hurry, not cold or wild, just soft enough to say, I'm here. You pull your blanket up to your chin and listen. Outside the clouds are full and low, their bellies glowing faintly with starlight. The world feels quiet and kind. Then you notice something. The rain begins to shimmer. Each drop is glowing, each drop is a thread, and suddenly you're floating. Not up, not down, just away. Wrapped in moon-gray mist, you're carried through the clouds. They open for you like curtains parting for a dream. And there above the world is a bridge of light. You step onto it. It leads to a loom bigger than any castle, spinning in the sky, and sitting at it, weaving with silver hands and stardust eyes, is the weaver. She is neither young nor old. Her hair is a waterfall of night. Her voice is the hush of waves against a distant shore. She sees you and smiles. You're just in time, she says. The dreams are ready. You sit beside her. Around the loom float bundles of glowing thread. Some are the colors of laughter. Others hum with the feeling of holding someone's hand. One smells like warm cookies. Another like a summer breeze before it rains. These are the threads of kindness, the weaver explains. Courage, wonder, rest. They fall as rain so the world may dream. She hands you a thread. This one is yours. It flickers gently in your hand. You don't remember placing it in the sky, but you know it's yours. It holds a memory, a hug you didn't want to end, a quiet you didn't want to break. She helps you guide it into the loom, and you begin to weave, over, under, over, under. Each time the shuttle moves, a dream grows. You see a garden blooming upside down, a train made of books, a tree that reads bedtime stories aloud. The weaver hums beside you, her voice softens the sky. You help her spin a cloak for a lonely fox and socks that warm without touching feet, and a lullaby made of soft bells and sleepy sighs. Hours pass, or maybe seconds. Time here flows like melted chocolate, slow and sweet. Finally, the weaving's done. You step back. The fabric stretches across the sky, glowing, whispering. Now, the weaver says, we send it down. She lifts a hand. The cloth turns into mist, and the mist becomes rain. Not just wet drops, but glowing ones that carry stories, ones that soften hearts. They fall to rooftops, to riverbanks, to curled up children and cats, and grandmothers nodding off in chairs. They fall into dreams. You watch quiet and full. The weaver turns to you. You may leave something behind, she says, something for someone else. You close your eyes. You think of your best laugh, your bravest day, the warmest moment you can hold. When you open your eyes, it's already floating a thread made of gold and calm and hope. It joins the next weaving. The weaver nods. Then she touches your forehead. Sleep now, she says. You fall, not fast, not far, just softly. Rain is tapping your window again. Your bed is warm. And in your heart, something glows. A thread, a dream, a promise to return. Story 19, The Panther and the Painted Cave, inspired by indigenous and prehistoric storytelling traditions from around the world. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. The fire crackles low in a circle of stones. You sit wrapped in a fur blanket, staring into the flames. Behind you, the cave walls rise high and round, and the air smells of earth smoke and old stories. Someone hands you a torch. It's time, a soft voice says. You rise and follow the flicker of firelight deeper into the cave. The walls are covered in paintings. They dance and shimmer as the torch moves red deer with leaping legs, wild horses with manes of flame, and bison charging through fields that no longer exist. These are not just pictures. They move slightly like memories remembering themselves. You reach the deepest chamber. The ceiling glitters faintly, not with stars, but with crushed stone that someone once placed there with care. And in the center of the wall, just above eye level, is the panther. Painted in black ash and charcoal, its eyes still glow with yellow light. As you look at it, the cave grows quiet. Then the wind rises from nowhere. The panther blinks, then steps out of the wall. You are not afraid. The panther is huge, its paws silent as falling snow. Its fur moves like water. It bows its head to you. You remembered me? It says, voice as low as thunder in the distance. You follow the panther out of the cave into the night. But this night is not your night. The sky is full of moons. The grass is as tall as trees. Mammoths roam in the distance, and giant birds fly in circles overhead. The world is old and full of magic. The panther takes you to a cliff that glows faintly. You sit together. I used to be real, says the panther. I hunted in forests where the stars came closer to drink. But when the world changed, I became a story, a memory, a painting on a wall. You reach out and touch its fur. It feels like the wind at twilight. But every now and then, the panther continues. Someone remembers. Someone sees the paintings and listens. You look around. Other animals gather at the edge of the cliff. Wolves made of fog horses with hooves of stone eagles with fire in their wings. They nod to you because you remembered the panther stands. Come, it says, let me show you the world before sleep. You run together over mossy hills and through glowing rivers. You leap over sleeping mountains and walk inside trees that hum lullabies. Everywhere you go, the world feels gentle, like it's waiting just for you. The panther shows you stars growing like flowers. It shows you laughter that echoes for 1,000 years. It shows you how to speak to shadows without using fear. Finally, you return to the cave. You stand before the painted wall. The panther stops. Will you add your story? It asks. You take the torch and touch it to the cave wall. Instead of fire, it leaves behind a mark. Your mark. A swirl of light, a line of peace, a quiet promise. The animals gather once more. Then one by one they return to the wall. The panther is last. It turns to you, bows, then steps backward into the stone, its eyes closed, and the painting is still again. You step back into your bedroll. The fire is low now. The stars outside the cave entrance blink slowly. You curl beneath your blanket and let the stone hold your story. Not lost, just waiting. Until someone else remembers. Story 20. The Cloud Shepherd of the Western Wind, inspired by Celtic and mountain folklore, blending sky weather and guardian spirits. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. The sky is soft tonight. Not just blue, but every color you can imagine melting into each other like ice cream on a warm spoon, lavender, honey gold, apricot, and sleepy gray. You sit at the edge of a tall hill. Behind you, the world is quiet. Ahead, the clouds roll low like waves, but they don't crash. They drift. Then you see him, a shepherd, not of sheep, but of clouds. He stands tall on the hilltop, leaning on a long staff that glows faintly like it's been carved from lightning. His cloak is the color of early evening. His hair flows like mist. Around him, clouds gather in patient silence. You walk toward him. He sees you and smiles kind and quiet. "You heard the wind," he says. "That means you're ready." He gestures to the sky. These are the drifting herds. They carry dreams, memories, weather, and whispers. They need tending, and tonight I could use your help. You nod. He hands you a little staff of your own. It's light as air but warm in your palm. It hums softly when you touch it. The wind picks up, but not in a rush, just enough to lift the clouds. Together, you and the shepherd begin. You guide a herd of woolly clouds toward the setting sun. They shimmer, pink and coral, softening the sky. "These are for artists," he says, "so they can paint with the sunset." Another cluster of gray-blue clouds drifts lower. "Rain for the thirsty gardens," he says. You tilt your staff and nudge them gently downward. One cloud won't move. It trembles a little darker than the rest. "That one's full of heavy dreams," the shepherd says. "Want to try?" You step forward, touch your staff to the cloud, and close your eyes. You think of comfort, of blankets tucked just right, of hands that hold yours when you're scared. The cloud shudders, then sighs. It lightens to a soft silver, then drifts onward, peaceful. "Well done," the shepherd whispers. You walk farther, higher, until the stars peek out like curious cats. The clouds begin to glow. "These," he says, "are the dream clouds. They don't bring rain, they bring sleep." You help him fluff them, spin them, line them up just right. He hums a low tune that settles the wind. It sounds like lullabies and old forests and goodbyes that don't hurt. When the last dream cloud floats into place, he sits beside you on a blanket of breeze. "Why do you do this?" you ask. He leans back. "Because even the sky needs caretakers, and children need soft clouds to carry them to sleep." You nod. You hadn't known, but now it feels like something you've always understood. He reaches into his cloak and pulls out a pouch. "Your turn," he says. "Leave a cloud behind, one of your own." You open the pouch. Inside is nothing, until you think of laughter in the dark, of the way it feels to be held, of waking up and realizing you're not alone. A cloud forms in your hand, small, glowing, steady. You place it in the sky. It joins the others and drifts toward the moon. The shepherd stands. The sky remembers everything, he says, even what the world forgets. He walks into the wind and vanishes like morning fog. You find yourself back on the hill, your staff still warm in your hand. Then you're home, in bed. Clouds drift past your window shaped like horses, boats, and birds. You smile. Somewhere, someone is sleeping beneath the cloud you made. And tomorrow, the sky will carry more. Story 21. The lanterns that carried whales, inspired by coastal folklore and magical realism from Southeast Asian and Pacific traditions. Hey, little dreamers, tonight, we're going somewhere magical. The sea is quiet tonight. It breathes in slow waves like a giant sleeping gently beneath the surface. The sand is cool beneath your toes as you walk the shore, and the sky above is full of stars that seem to blink just for you. You carry a lantern. It is small and round, made of woven reeds and pale paper. A gentle golden light glows inside. You don't know who lit it or when, only that it feels important. Other lanterns float nearby, bobbing on the water, hundreds of them. Each one holds a whisper, a wish, a story. The tide pulls them slowly toward the horizon. Then you see something between the waves. Not a boat, not a ship, a shadow, a shape, a whale, but not just one, 10, 20, a pod. They rise from the deep like soft mountains, their backs shimmering with tiny flecks of light. As they surface, the lanterns begin to rise, lifted not by the wind, but by song. The whales are singing, their voices are long and low and full of starlight, and the lanterns rise gently, slowly, as if pulled by melody. You hold yours close. The flame inside dances to the rhythm of the sea. Then you feel something, a tug, from the lantern. "Ready," a voice says beside you. You turn. A girl stands beside you. She wears a cloak of sea foam, and her hair sparkles like wet stone. "I'm Lanny," she says. "Tonight we ride." She holds a lantern like yours. Together you walk onto the water, but you don't sink. The lanterns lift you, slowly, kindly. You float higher and higher until the waves look like swirling glass and the whales circle far below like shadows of the moon. You and Lonnie rise into the sky, not to fly, but to travel. Each lantern is a memory, a dream someone once forgot to finish. You pass one that glows like coral inside it. A girl finds her voice and sings to the stars. Another pulses green, showing a boy climbing a tree to reach the wind. You look down. The whales follow. Lonnie laughs. "They carry the big dreams," she says, "the ones that are too heavy for words." You reach into your lantern. They're curled like a tiny creature is your own dream. You had forgotten it. It is soft and silver and shaped like a question you never asked. Lanny nods. Let it go. You breathe and open your hand. The dream floats upward. The lantern glows brighter, then lifts even higher, guiding the whales toward the stars. Together, you follow, past islands made of clouds, past a rainstorm where the droplets laugh, past a ship made entirely of songs, until finally you arrive at a sky so vast and calm it feels like sleep itself. There the whales begin to dive, not into the ocean, into the night. They swim through the darkness, leaving trails of light behind them. One by one the lanterns follow. Lenny smiles at you. We've helped them find their way. She hands you something small, a shell. Inside it glows a single flicker of your dream. "Keep it," she says, "in case you need to remember." You blink. You're back on the beach. The tide is rising. The sky is pink with morning. You hold the shell in your hand. And in the distance, just before they vanish, you hear the whales sing once more. Story 22. The Starlight Bakers of the North Hill, inspired by Nordic and Alpine folktales with magical realism. Hey, little dreamers, tonight, we're going somewhere magical. The hill is quiet tonight, blanketed in snow so soft it whispers when you walk. The stars twinkle like frost in the sky, and the chimney smoke curls upward in little ribbons that sparkle faintly. You follow the scent of warm bread. It wraps around you like a scarf full of cinnamon sugar and something secret you can't quite name. At the top of the hill stands a tiny bakery with windows that glow like lanterns. The door opens before you knock. You're right on time, says a small round woman with flour in her hair and a smile that melts the cold. Her name is Oma, and she leads you inside. The bakery is warm and glowing. Copper pans line the walls. A cat with silver paws dozes near the oven. Loaves rise like sleepy clouds on every counter. We bake for the stars, Oma says, and for the children who need gentle dreams. You look up. A skylight reveals the night sky, and each time a star twinkles, a bell above the oven rings softly. That means it's time to begin, Oma says. She hands you a tiny apron and a wooden spoon that hums when you hold it. Tonight, she says, we're making stardust bread. You mix flour that sparkles, eggs that glow faintly, and a pinch of laughter from a jar. Oma adds a swirl of moonlight and a drop of dream syrup. As the dough rises, you listen. Oma tells stories while she kneads, of children who once came with empty hearts and left with arms full of light, of stars that sent letters and crumbs, of nights so quiet the oven hummed lullabies. When the bread is ready, you shape it however you like. You make a moon, a fox, a hug. Each shape glows just a little differently. You place your bread on a tray and slide it into the oven. It doesn't burn, it becomes. The smell wraps around you, sweet, gentle, deep. Oma pulls out the loaves and places them in a basket lined with snow moss. Now, she says, we send them. She opens the back door. Beyond it is not a yard, but the sky. One by one the loaves rise into the night, cradled by wind, carried to places where dreams are thin and children wait with open hearts. Oma places one loaf in your hands. This one is yours. You hold it to your chest. It is warm and humming. She tucks it in a satchel. For when you forget the taste of wonder, the bell rings once more, the stars wink, the snow hushes, and you find yourself back beneath your blankets, still warm, still glowing, still full of something slow and sweet, the dream of bread, the memory of life, and a sky filled with tiny loaves floating gently toward the hearts that need them. Story 23. The Forest Clockmaker and the Bird of Time, inspired by Eastern European and fairy tale traditions involving time memory and woodland magic. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. The forest is hushed tonight. Even the leaves seem to whisper more softly and the owls blink slower than usual. You follow a path made of mossy stones that glow just faintly under the moonlight. Far ahead, tucked between two old birch trees, is a crooked wooden house. It doesn't have windows. Instead, it has clocks, hundreds of them, big ones, small ones, clocks with painted faces and clocks that tick like heartbeats. As you step onto the porch, none of them chime. They are waiting. The door creaks open. A tall, thin man with wild gray hair and eyes that tick softly like minute hands smiles at you. Come in, he says. You're just in time. He is the clockmaker. Inside, the air is filled with the smell of wood shavings and warm dust. Gears spin gently on the shelves. Tiny hammers tap-tap in rhythm above the fireplace. In the middle of the room stands the strangest clock you've ever seen. It's made of twigs and feathers and crystal, and it has no hands. This, says the clockmaker, is the bird of time. He opens a small door on the clock. Inside is a tiny wooden bird with soft eyes and carved wings. She hasn't flown in 100 years, he says, stroking its beak. She only flies when a true listener comes. You blink. A listener. He nods. Not to ticking, not to words, to moments. He hands you a winding key. You must wind her with a memory. You hold the key tight. Close your eyes and remember a warm hand holding yours when you were nervous. A belly laugh that made you fall over. A quiet morning with cocoa and rain. The key glows. You insert it. The bird blinks. And then she moves. She hops to the edge of the clock and lifts off, flying in slow glowing circles above your head. Every flap of her wings leaves a soft shimmer in the air, not glitter, but memory light. Where it touches the clocks, they begin to tick again. Not loudly, just enough. Time doesn't live in seconds, the clockmaker says. It lives in moments, and memories, and meaning. You watch the bird of time fly around the room, pausing near certain clocks. One shows the first sunrise you ever saw, another the face of someone you miss. Another ticks not with sound, but with laughter. Then the bird returns. She settles back inside the clock and sleeps. The clockmaker nods. She remembers now, and so do you. It gives you a small watch. It won't tell time, he says. It will hold time. You look inside. A moment glows there, one you just made. He walks you to the door. The forest is glowing a little brighter now. The stones beneath your feet feel warmer. And as you head back home, the ticking stays in your chest, not a countdown, but a heartbeat. That night, beneath your covers, you open the watch once more. The moment is still there, waiting, and so is the bird of time. Story 24. The Glass Fox of Hollow Lake, inspired by forest spirit legends and quiet animal fables from around the world. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. The lake lies still tonight. Its surface is smooth as silk, reflecting the stars so clearly it looks like the sky has fallen upside down. You walk along the edge, the reeds brushing your legs, and the air filled with the scent of moss and night-blooming flowers. Somewhere in the dark, a loon sings. You follow a winding path of glowing stones. They light with each step you take, one by one, leading you toward a clearing wrapped in hush. At the center of the clearing is a statue. It looks like a fox, but not carved from stone or wood. It's made entirely of glass, delicate, shimmering pale blue under the moonlight. It does not move until it does. A paw shifts, a tail flickers, and suddenly the fox turns to you, eyes gleaming like liquid moonlight. You found me, it says, its voice like the clink of wind chimes. Most walk past without seeing. You blink. Are you real? The fox tilts its head, not in the usual way, but very real to those who still believe in quiet things. It stands and light scatters across the trees. The ground beneath it hums with something ancient and kind. Come, says the fox. You follow, through silver brush and under hanging moss, past trees that whisper but do not speak. The air changes. Time slows. Long ago, the fox says, I was a guardian. I watched over the lake, the stars, the hush. But over time, people forgot. So I became still, until someone with a soft heart walk this way again. You step carefully. The fox leads you to a circle of stones. In the middle is a shallow pool, not water, but memory. Look, it says. You kneel. Inside the pool, images shimmer. A child feeding ducks on a rainy morning, a lantern carried through fog, hands held tight under falling snow. These are gentle memories, the fox says, the kind the world often overlooks, but they hold the deepest magic. You feel your heart grow full. The fox turns to you. Would you like to leave one? You nod. You close your eyes and remember a moment of laughter when no one else heard. The feeling of being seen, the quiet, before someone said something kind. When you open your eyes, a new image glows in the pool. The fox smiles. Now, it will always be here. The glass of its body begins to fade, not crack, not break, but lift. It becomes wind, then mist, then a single shimmer of moonlight drifting into the sky. Thank you, it whispers, for believing in the quiet magic. You walk back to the lake's edge. The path behind you has faded, but in your palm is a single glass thread still warm. You tuck it into your pocket. That night in your bed, you hear the soft clink of wind chimes, and the lake somewhere far away still holds your memory, and always will. Story 25, The Little Starboat That Sailed Home, inspired by seafaring legends, celestial journeys, and gentle cosmic fables. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. Tonight, the sea is not below you, it's above. The stars are not twinkling, they are sailing. You sit in a tiny harbor watching the night sky ripple like water. Overhead, constellations drift slowly, rocking like boats. You hold a paper map in your lap drawn in ink that glows faintly blue. A small dock stretches in front of you. Tied to its end is a boat, not made of wood, made of starlight. It hums gently as if waiting. You step aboard. The moment you do, the ropes untie themselves. The wind shifts, and the sea of stars begins to move. You sail silently into the sky. The world below fades. The constellations around you nod as you pass. A bear of stars waves his paw. A swan swims through a nebula. A fox curls up inside a comet's tail. Your boat floats gently like a dream, barely disturbed. After a while, the boat slows. You pass a lighthouse made of meteor dust. Its beacon glows golden, lighting a path between two sleeping moons. The boat drifts to a stop beside a cluster of soft lights. A girl sits at the end of a star bridge. She waves. You're a long way from home, she says, smiling. I think I'm trying to find it, you say. She nods as if this makes perfect sense. She gives you a jar filled with tiny stars. For when you feel lost, she says, they remember. You thank her. The boat begins to move again through clouds that whisper, past planets that sing, over fields of light shaped like blooming trees. You steer with your heart. It knows the way. Finally, the boat slows near a place that doesn't shine. A small black stretch of sky, quiet and still. You feel something there. Familiar. Home. The boat nudges a single floating light. A lantern. Your lantern. You forgot you'd sent it once years ago with a wish tucked inside. The wish is still there, still glowing. You take it gently. Hold it close. And everything begins to return. The sea, the wind, the shore. You open your eyes. You're in bed wrapped in warmth, and the stars outside blink slowly like sleepy ships. Beside your pillow is the jar the girl gave you, still full of stars, still remembering. And on your blanket, a tiny paper boat glows softly, waiting for your next dream. Story 26, the Dreamsmith's anvil inspired by Mountain Lord dwarven legends and gentle creation myths. Hey, little dreamers, tonight, we're going somewhere magical. Deep beneath the quiet hills past roots older than trees and rivers that glow in the dark, lies a forge that does not burn with fire. It hums with dreams. You walk down a spiral tunnel lit by lanterns filled with stardust. The walls shine faintly with minerals that hum like lullabies. The air is warm, but not hot, cozy, like a blanket just pulled from the sun. At the bottom, in a great stone chamber, stands the Dreamsmith. He is broad and kind, with a beard that sparkles like moon pebbles and arms strong enough to shape clouds. He smiles as you arrive. "Ah," he says, "you've come to learn how dreams are made." You nod. He beckons you forward to the anvil, but not one made of iron. This one is carved from ancient style. It rings like a bell when touched. Most think dreams just appear, the Dreamsmith says, reaching into a basket of glowing dust. But the best ones are forged, gently, with care. He places a pinch of dust on the anvil. This, he says, is a piece of bravery. He adds a drop of water from a tear, a kind one, and this, a moment of stillness. He lifts his hammer, which glows with runes, and taps the pile. A flicker of light sparks. A shape begins to form. You see it, a ship that sails through clouds. A bell that rings only when someone needs hope. A door that opens to a memory you forgot you loved. "Now your turn," he says. He hands you a scoop of dream dust, you think, and add a laugh you once shared under a table. The smell of fresh rain on warm stone, the weight of someone leaning on your shoulder. Tap, tap, tap. The dream takes shape, small, beautiful, glowing softly. Not all dreams need to be big, the Dreamsmith says. Some just need to be real. You wrap your dream in a ribbon of soft air. He leads you to a shelf filled with hundreds of tiny dreams. "These will be sent tonight," he says, "to children who need them, to hearts that are ready." You add yours to the shelf, but he stops you. "Not that one," he says. "That one's for you." He places it in a little pouch and tucks it in your pocket. You smile. He walks you back to the tunnel. "Return any time," he says. "There will always be dreams to shape." The tunnel winds upward. You step into your bed, and beneath your pillow, small pouch. Inside, a dream shaped by your own hand, waiting. Story 27, The Quilt Maker's Meadow. Inspired by folklore from pastoral and grandmotherly traditions around the world. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. You walk through a field of wildflowers. The petals brush your hands like soft whispers. The sun is setting, but it doesn't rush. It sinks slowly, casting golden light over the grasses and leaves. In the middle of the meadow is a little house. Its roof is patchworked with colored tiles. Smoke drifts gently from the chimney, and fluttering in the breeze are quilts, hundreds of them hung on lines that stretch between the trees like ribbons in the sky. Each quilt is different. One is stitched with stars. Another glows like a dream. A third hums when the wind touches it. You walk toward the porch, and there she is, the quilt maker. She is small and bright-eyed, her silver hair tucked into a scarf, her hands busy, even while resting in her lap. She smiles as you arrive. Come in, come in. I've saved a seat beside the thread-spooled table. Inside the house is full of warmth. Shelves overflow with fabric in every shade. Buttons are sorted by laughter. Ribbons curl like sleeping cats. Every night, she says, I stitch a quilt for a child who needs one, not for warmth, but for remembering. You look around. Some quilts shimmer with dancing shadows. Some hold patterns shaped like hugs. Others smell faintly of apple pie or spring rain. Would you like to help tonight? You nod. She hands you a square of soft cloth and a thread spun from storylight. Think of a moment you want to keep, she says. You close your eyes and remember the first time you made someone laugh, a secret place under the stairs, the color of your favorite book. You stitch them into the square, gently, carefully. The thread hums as it weaves. When you're done, the square glows faintly. The quilt maker takes it, adds it to a growing patchwork, and smiles. Now, this one will carry dreams to someone who needs them. You spend the evening helping cutting cloth, shaped like courage, trimming edges, with joy choosing buttons that once belonged to old songs. The quilt grows. Soon it is full. She folds it gently and steps outside. With a whistle, the wind arrives soft, swirly, curious. It lifts the quilt into the sky, and off it flies. By morning, she says, a child will wake with it wrapped around their dreams. She hands you a tiny square. This one's for you. Keep it close. Stitch more memories into it as you grow. You hold it to your cheek. It smells like safety and home. You walk back through the meadow. The stars are rising. The breeze carries the soft rustle of fabric and lullabies. Back in bed, you tuck the square beneath your pillow. And as you drift to sleep, you feel the warmth of a quilt not yet finished, but already full of you. Story 28, The Bell Tower Swan. Inspired by Slavic folktales and quiet transformation myths. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. You walk beneath a sky full of clouds shaped like feathers. There's a hush in the air, the kind that happens before a song. In the distance, a bell tower rises above the forest, tall and ancient, its silver bell silent and still. You follow a path of white stones that gleam in the twilight. Each step feels like a note in a melody not yet played. The bell tower waits. Its door creaks open before you touch it. Inside, the air smells like old stories. Dust dances like snowflakes in shafts of light. You climb the winding stairs, up, 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 until you reach a room of glass and wind. And there, curled beside the bell, is a swan. Not a normal swan. Her feathers shimmer like frozen clouds. Her eyes are full of years. She lifts her head as you enter. You came, she says. Her voice is music and hush. I have one song left, she tells you, but I cannot sing it until someone truly listens. You sit beside her. She presses a single feather into your palm. It glows faintly. Then she begins, not with words, with images. You see a lake that remembers, a child who waited for someone to return, a bell that rang once long ago and made the clouds weep. As the story unfolds, the bell begins to glow. This tower, she says, was once a nest. I kept the sky full of dreams, but one by one the stars forgot, so I curled here waiting. She pauses. You remembered? The bell pulses with light. You rise and touch the rope. It hums under your hand. With one gentle pull, the bell rings. The sound rolls out like soft thunder wrapped in silk. It reaches the trees, the river, the sky. And the sky remembers. The clouds swirl, the stars blink, and the swan rises, not slowly, gracefully. She spreads her wings, now vast and glowing. Her feathers scatter tiny lights like lanterns. Thank you, she whispers. The bell will ring for dreamers again. She flies into the clouds, her body fading into song. You watch until the last feather drifts down and lands in your hand. You descend the stairs. The tower is still but different. Awake. Back in bed, you tuck the feather beneath your pillow, and just before sleep, you hear it, a single chime in the sky, calling something back. Maybe wonder. Maybe you. Story 29. The Marsh King's Crown, inspired by myths of hidden royalty, enchanted wetlands, and gentle transformation. Hey, little dreamers, tonight, we're going somewhere magical. The marsh is quiet tonight. You walk along a narrow wooden path that weaves through pools of still water. Reeds sway slowly on either side, and tiny lights, maybe fireflies, maybe something more, float just above the surface. Frogs croon their nighttime songs. The stars reflect on the water dancing when the wind sighs. At the center of the marsh is a circle of stones, half sunken, wrapped in vines and soft moss. In the middle stands a throne made of twisted branches and smooth black stone. You step closer, and the crown appears. It hovers gently in the air, shaped from silver reeds and threaded with morning mist. A soft green glow pulses at its center. A voice speaks, not from behind you, from the water. Are you here to listen or to rule? You kneel beside the edge, and the Marsh King rises. He is not tall, but he is steady. His cloak drips with starlight, his beard is moss, and his crown is missing. He smiles gently. Long ago, he says, I ruled with kindness. I knew every toad, every lily, every cloud that kissed the marsh. But the world forgot how to listen, so I let the crown wait. He gestures to it still floating. Only someone with a quiet heart can hold it, not forever, just for a night. You reach out. The crown drifts into your hands. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels like a breeze before rain. The Marsh King bows. Come, he says. He leads you on stepping stones across the water. You visit a frog who tells you stories and riddles. A heron who shows you the path the moon takes. A willow tree that hums lullabies from before language. Everywhere you go, things open. Lilies bloom. Insects glow. The marsh breathes. You see now, the Marsh King says, this place doesn't need to be ruled, only remembered. He places a hand over your heart. The crown glows brighter. Then he steps into the water again and sinks gently beneath the surface, leaving only ripples. You walk back alone, but not lonely. The crown dissolves into light as you reach the path. You hold it inside you now, and when you reach your bed, damp with mist and smiling with memory, you find a reed beside your pillow. Still glowing, still listening. Story 30. The Carousel of Whispers. Inspired by magical realism, forgotten places, and enchanted childhood memories. Hey, little dreamers, tonight we're going somewhere magical. You find it at the edge of the woods. A carousel tucked beneath weeping trees and starlit branches, silent but not asleep. Its colors are faded, its paint peeling just slightly, but the air around it buzzes with the hush of held breath. You step closer. Each animal is different. There's a rabbit carved from moonstone, a lion made of moss, a swan with feathers stitched from parchment, a fox with eyes like hourglasses. None of them move until you place your hand on the railing. The carousel sighs. Lights blink to life, soft, warm, gentle. Music begins, but not the kind from music boxes. This tune hums like wind through memory, like lullabies long forgotten, like your own heartbeat when you're dreaming. You climb onto the fox. It shifts beneath you, not startled, but waking. Around you, the carousel spins, not quickly, slowly, like a story being told. Each time you pass a mirror mounted to the carousel's center, something appears. The first time your 5th birthday cake glowing with too many candles. The second, your favorite blanket from when you were very small. The third, someone who once held your hand at a time you almost forgot. You hold on tighter. The fox beneath you whispers, "We hold the echoes," it says. Not just the things you remember, but the things that remember you. The carousel spins. You pass a field of stars, a library made of clouds, a river that sings every name you've ever loved. Then slowly, the carousel begins to slow. The animals breathe deeply. The music fades, and the lights blink once more before resting. You slide down from the fox. It nods. The whispers swirl gently in the air. You step off the platform, and the forest greets you with soft quiet. In your hand is a token smooth round, marked with the image of the fox. You tuck it into your pocket. Back in bed, the air smells faintly of wood and stars. And just as your eyes close, you hear the soft creak of the carousel turning somewhere deep in your dreams. Still waiting, still spinning, still whispering. Sleep well, little dreamer, until our next tale finds you